Hello students, in the present video session, I'll explain the concepts of media access control. We know that the data link layer, that is data link layer, consisting of sublayers like data link control and media access control. So we already discussed different protocols under DLC like simple protocol, stop and wait protocol and PPP. So we'll see what is the meaning of media access control now. So we can consider one scenario in which we are having a single link to which many devices are connected. So here we are having 4 devices which are connected to a single common link. When many nodes were connected to a single common link, which is called as multi-point, or broadcast link. Here, many nodes are willing to exchange the information between the devices using a single common link. Now, the problem arises how we can have control over the medium. That means, if the multiple devices are trying to access the link in the same instant, how we can achieve the coordination between the devices while accessing the data using the same common link. So we can make use of many protocols which were designed in order to provide the same service. All these protocols belongs to the sublayer of data link layer, that means media access control. So here the diagram shows multiple access protocols can be categorized into 3 groups. The first one is random access protocol. The second one is controlled access protocol. Third one is channelization protocol. Under random access protocol, we can have the first protocol as Aloha. The second one is CSMA, that is carrier sense multiple access. So next one is carrier sense multiple access collision division, and the last one is carrier sense multiple access collision avoidance. Similarly, under controlled access we can have reservation, pooling and token passing. Under channelization protocols we can have frequency division multiple access, time division multiple access, and the last one is code division multiple access. The first category under media access control is random access, so which can also be called as contention method. So in the case of random access, no station is superior than the another station. Any station can send the data, suppose it has the data to send, but it need to follow some set of procedures which were defined by the protocols. So according to those set of procedures, the station will decide whether to send the data or not. Each station has equal rights while sending the data over the transmission medium, but none of the station has the entire control over the medium or transmission medium. However, suppose more than one station is trying to send the data, obviously there may be an access conflict or collision occurs. Because of this conflict or collision, the frames will be either destroyed or modified. So we have to avoid this collision in the case of random access. To avoid access conflict or contention, each station need to follow a set of procedures. So that should answer the following questions like, When can the station access the medium? What can the station do if the medium is busy? How can the station determine the success or failure of the transmission? So the last question is, what can the station do if there is an access conflict? The first protocol under random access control is Aloha, which was designed in early 1970s, which can be designed for a radio or wireless LAN, but it can also be used on any shared medium. So Aloha can be subcategorized into pure Aloha and slotted Aloha. The pure Aloha is nothing but the original Aloha, and the idea behind this pure Aloha is that each station can send a frame whenever it has a frame to send. That means each station can send the frame whenever that respective station has some data to send. But we are having one single channel and which is shared among multiple devices. So because of that, there is the possibility of collision in the transmission medium or in the link. Because of that, some of the frames may be modified or destroyed. The diagram shows 4 stations that contend with one another for access to the shared medium. Each station has two frames to send on the shared medium. So we can observe that station 1 has 2 frames, station 2 has 2 frames, station 3 has 2 frames, and station 4 has 2 frames to send on the shared medium. But we can clearly observe that, so this is the collision duration as well as this is also the collision duration. So some of the frames will collide with each other on the transmission medium, and those frames will be corrupted or dropped on the transmission medium itself. So we have to avoid this collision on the transmission medium. But in the case of pure Aloha, only 2 frames were survived, that is station 1 first frame and station 3 last frame. So suppose the frames are dropped on the medium, that means the transmission medium, the frames need to be retransmitted by the sender node. So this pure Aloha works with the principle of acknowledgement. Suppose the sender sends the frame to the receiver node and the receiver is not yet received the frame, and it will not send an acknowledgement to the sender node. Suppose after timeout period, the sender node, if it is not yet received an acknowledgement, so sender node, it can retransmit the same frame once again. So that means the pure Aloha allows the retransmission of same frames during the occurrence of frame drop or collision on the transmission medium. But suppose the station try to resend the frame after the timeout period. After the timeout period, obviously we can say that collision may occur within the transmission medium. So here the station is trying to send after timeout period. After timeout period, we can say that obviously collision may occur. So in order to avoid the collision, we can adopt 2 principles under pure Aloha. The first one is pure Aloha dictates that when the timeout period passes, each station need to wait a random amount of time before resending the same frame. So this random amount of time will avoid the collision. It will avoid the collision, and this random amount of time we can call it as back of time TB. So similarly, in the case of pure Aloha, which has a second method in order to prevent the congestion by considering the retransmission of same frames. But So these retransmission can be allowed till maximum attempts like Kmax. After this Kmax, that is retransmission attempts, if it is Kmax, such stations must give up and it can try it later, so that we can avoid more collision within the transmission medium. So the first one is each station need to wait a random amount of time, that is TB. Also, after maximum number of retransmission attempts Kmax, the station must and should give up and it can try it later in order to send the frame on the transmission medium. In the case of pure Aloha, we already considered two methods by which we can prevent the congestion. The first one is by considering the back of time TB, and other one is by considering the maximum number of retransmission attempts as Kmax. So in the present scenario, we can observe that initially the value of k is equal to 0. So that means the number of attempts k is equal to 0. Send the frame. So after sending the frame, the sender need to wait for an acknowledgement. So that waiting period, it will be equal to 2 times the maximum propagation time. Suppose the acknowledgement is received within 2 times TP, so then I can say that the type of communication is success. Else, we have to increment the number of attempts k is equal to k plus 1 and we have to compare that value with k max. So if the value of k, that means the number of attempts, if it is lesser than k max, choose R. While choosing R, the value of R will be equal to 0 to 2 power k minus 1, which is randomly chosen and multiplied by TB value. So after that we have to wait for a random amount of time TB, that is nothing but back of time. So that is nothing but R into TP. So once again we can repeat the same operations. Suppose the total number of attempts, that is the number of attempts, if it is greater than the maximum number of attempts which is given it as k max. So in such instant we can abort the connection. Vulnerable time is nothing but the length of time in which there is a possibility of collision. So the diagram shows vulnerable time for pure Aloha protocol. So here we can observe that we are having three different stations like station A, station B and station C. So during time interval T, station B starts sending the frame, and during T minus TFR, station A, it will start sending the frame, and similarly station C, it will start sending the frame before T plus TFR. So where TFR is nothing but frame transmission time. TFR is nothing but frame transmission time. So we can observe that there is a collision occurred between A and B. So that is A's end, that is end of the frame, as well as beginning of frame B. So that will be collided over here. So collision will occur over here. Similarly, B's end and C's beginning will collide over here. So therefore, vulnerable time is nothing but the length of the time in which there is a possibility of collision can be computed as 2 times frame transmission time, that is TFR. Vulnerable time is equal to 2 times frame transmission time in the case of pure Aloha protocol. A pure Aloha network transmits 200 bits frames on a shared channel of 200 kilobits per second. What is the requirement to make this frame collision free? So for that, first we have to compute average frame transmission time TFR. So we have to compute average frame transmission time TFR. So that is equal to, so we are having 200 bits frame 200 bits frame on a shared channel of 200 kilobits per second. So that means we can have TFR is equal to 1 millisecond. And we can compute vulnerable time in the case of pure Aloha, that is equal to 2 times TFR. So that means 2 milliseconds. This means no station should send later than 1 millisecond before that respective station starts the transmission, and no station should start sending during this period. That means during 1 millisecond that the present station is sending the data. So this is how we can avoid the collision with respect to the pure Aloha. Next we'll take throughput in the case of pure Aloha. So we can consider G is nothing but the average number of frames generated by the system during one frame transmission time, that is TFR, and the maximum throughput, that is equal to S max. So therefore we can have the equation throughput S is equal to G into e power minus 2G, where the maximum throughput S max, so that is equal to 1 by 2 times of E, so that is equal to 0.184 with the value of G is equal to half. Now we will take one problem. A pure Aloha network transmits 200 bit frames on a shared channel of 200 kilobits per second. What is the throughput if the system produces 1000 frames per second? Second one is 500 frames per second, and third case is 250 frames per second. So we have to compute throughput, yes, for each cases A, B and C. So for that, first we'll compute the frame transmission time. So first we have to compute frame transmission time. Frame transmission time, so that is equal to, we know that Aloha network transmits 200 bit frames with the channel capacity as 200 kilobits per second. So the frame transmission time will get it as 1 millisecond. You can get it as 1 millisecond. So now we have to compute the throughput. Yes, that is equal to G into e to the power minus 2G. So now we have to compute the value of G, that is the average number of frames generated by the system during one frame transmission time. We'll take first case, that is case A, that means 1000 frames per second. 1000 frame per second. So that is first case. So 1000 frames per second means I can transmit 1000 frames in 1 second. So what is the frame transmission time for one frame? So that is, for 1000 frames we need 1 second. Suppose if we want to transmit single frame, what is the required time? So that means we will get 1 into 1 divided by 1000. So we will get the value as 1 millisecond. In order to transmit a single frame, the value of the time, it will be equal to 1 millisecond. So therefore we can consider G is equal to 1. G is equal to 1. That means the average number of frames generated by the system in 1 second. So G is equal to 1 means we can compute S is equal to G into e to the power minus 2G. So that is equal to 1 into e to the power minus 2. So you'll get the value as 0.135. In terms of percentage, that is 13.5%. 13.5%. So this means that the throughput is, so we have to compute the throughput is, so we are having total 1000 frames into 0.135. So we'll get the total number of frames as 135 frames. 35 frames. So that means out of 1000 frames, only 135 frames will be survived. That means hardly 13.5% out of 100 frames, 1000 frames. So that is total 135 frames will be survived, or else out of 1000 frames only 135 frames will be reached successfully to the destination node. 500 frames per second. That means if the system creates 500 frames per second or half frames per millisecond. That means average number of frames generated by the system G is equal to 1 by 2. So now we can compute the value of throughput as G into e to the power minus 2G. So that means half into e to the power minus 2 into G means half. G is equal to half. So the value you will get it as 0.184 or else 18.4%. So the total number of frames per second is 500. So you can compute the throughput as 500 into 0.184. So that is equal to 92 frames. So out of 500 frames, only 92 frames will probably survive. 250 frames per second. That means 1 by 4 frames per millisecond. 1 by 4 frames per millisecond. So we can carry 1/4 of a single frame per millisecond. So therefore G is equal to 1 by 4. So now we can compute S is equal to G into e to the power minus 2G, that is equal to 0.152 or else 15.2%. So therefore the throughput is equal to total number of frames into S 0.152, that is equal to 38. Out of 250 frames, only 38 frames will probably survive. So this is how we can consider 3 different cases with 1000 frames, 500 frames and 250 frames. So we can conclude that the maximum number of frames survived with respect to case B. So that means case B is 92 and case A is 135 frames and case C is 38 frames. Slotted Aloha. So in the case of pure Aloha, the vulnerable time that is equal to 2 times TFR. 2 times TFR, that is frame transmission time. In order to improve the efficiency of pure Aloha, so we can consider the slotted Aloha. In the case of pure Aloha, there were no restriction to the stations while sending the frames. Because of that, obviously there may be a chance of frame collision or conflict or congestion occurs with respect to pure Aloha. But in the case of slotted Aloha, we divide the time into slots of TFR seconds and will force the stations to send only at the beginning of the time slot. In the case of slotted Aloha, we'll force the stations to send only at the beginning of each time slot. Suppose if the station misses this moment, it need to wait until the beginning of the next time slot. This means that the station sending the frame during this time slot has already finished the sending the frame. But there may be a possibility of collision whenever two stations try to send the data at the beginning of the same time slot. In the diagram we can observe that, so this is the collision duration and one more collision duration is this one. So we can say that the station 1 starts sending the frame during slot 1, station 2 starts sending its first frame during slot 2 and the station 1 once again it will start its second frame during slot 3 and so on. So we can observe that the station 2 first frame and station 3 first frame will be collided over here. So this is the collision duration. Similarly, station 1 frame and station 4 frame, so this is the collision duration. Even if we are forcing the station to send only at the beginning of each time slot, there may be a chance of collision or because two stations may try to send the data at the beginning of the same time slot. So next we can take vulnerable time in the case of slotted Aloha protocol. So the vulnerable time that is equal to frame transmission time itself. So vulnerable time is equal to TFR. The throughput for slotted Aloha, S is equal to G into e to the power minus G, and we can compute the maximum throughput S max, that is equal to 0.368 with the value of G is equal to 1. A slotted Aloha network transmits 200 bit frames using a shared channel with a 200 kilobits per second bandwidth. Find the throughput if the system produces 1000 frames per second, 500 frames per second and 250 frames per second. So first we need to compute the frame transmission time. So the frame transmission time, that is equal to frame transmission time, that is equal to, we are having a Aloha network which transmits 200 bits and the channel capacity is 200 kilobits per second, and we can get the frame transmission time as 1 millisecond. So next we'll take case A, that is 1000 frames per second. So if 1000 frames per second that can be transmitted means, in order to transmit a single frame, we need 1 millisecond. So in order to 1000 frames we can transmit in 1 second. In order to transmit a single frame, we need around 1 millisecond. So therefore, in 1 millisecond, in 1 millisecond, we can transmit a single frame. So therefore, G is equal to 1. We have the equation to compute S in the case of slotted aloha as S is equal to G into e to the power minus G, that is equal to, with the value of G is equal to 1, e to the power minus 1, so that is equal to 0.368, or else in terms of percentage 36.8%. So we have to compute the throughput with respect to 1000 frames, that is equal to 1000 into 0.368, that is equal to 368 frames. Out of 1000 frames, only 368 frames can survive with the value of G is equal to 1. Case B, 500 frames per second. So therefore, the value of G is equal to half, and we can compute S is equal to G into, that is half into e to the power minus half, so that is equal to, we will get the value as 0.303, that is equal to 30.3%. So out of 500 frames, we need to compute the total number of frames that can be survived, so that is 0.303, that is equal to 151. Out of 500 frames, only 151 frames can be survived. So the last case, 250 frames per second. Here we can have the value of G is equal to 1 by 4, and we can compute S is equal to G into e to the power minus G, and we will get the value as 0.195, in terms of percentage 19.5%. So therefore, the throughput is equal to 250 into 0.195, that is equal to 19, that is equal to 250 into 0.195, that is equal to 49. Can say that out of 250 frames, only 49 frames can survive. So this is how we can solve the problem by considering total number of frames as 100 frames per second, 50 frames per second and 250 frames per second. So for case 1, we got out of 1000 frames, 368 frames can be survived. Second case, we got the value only 151 frames out of 500 frames will probably survive. The last case is only 49 frames out of 250 frames will probably survive. For any queries, please mail me at sadhana.b@canaraengineering.in. Thank you.